Alright. Video games.
Video games are my favorite video games.
But sadly, we've got some crazy stuff to talk about this week. Polygon getting into it again. Some Fallout 76 stuff, and Hatman played an Eevee thing. Yeah, so let's get into it. My name is Micah Curtis.
I'm Alex Baldwin, also known as The Hatman.
Welcome to Micah and The Hatman, live. Alright. So, Hatman, talk about the Eevee thing.
I played an Eevee. Yeah, Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. Yes, I bought a Switch for this. I've been meaning to get a Switch for a while, and I finally had an excuse. Because I am a motherfucker about Pokemon games. As all of you know by now. But this is like about as watered down as you can get, but it's still like a true Pokemon game. You don't have abilities anymore. You don't have breeding anymore. This is like Gen 1 updated for modern times, but not quite as updated as you would like. It's kind of in that weird sort of limbo where it's different than Fire Red and Leaf Green, but still like not a complete Pokemon experience. This is essentially the sort of game that you get somebody to play if they're transitioning from Pokemon Go into like the main series games. But it's still refreshing in a way, because you don't have to worry so much about obviously breeding. So competitive Pokemon has sort of taken a backseat. Yes, you can play this competitively, but it's not huge. You can just focus on playing the damn game. And it's got enough differences that I actually really enjoy. Michael, you'll probably like this. Random encounters, you can basically choose when they happen. You don't have to worry about wandering through Mount Moon and getting accosted by a ton of Zubats. You can literally just wander through there, and unless you touch a Zubat, you can go the whole thing without a random encounter.
So it's kind of like Final Fantasy, I think it was 12, where you could see the monsters on the field. Yeah,
roaming Pokemon, you can always see them, so you can choose which encounters to go with and which ones to not. But catching them, I mean, there's no wild Pokemon battles. Catching them is just like Pokemon Go. You just throw Pokeballs until one of them lands. And the stuff can run away too. So you better make sure that you aim it right. Yes, I know Zubats can grow to be very reliable Pokemon. Keep in mind, this is just a Gen 1 type game. So you get the first 151 Pokemon plus Meltan and its evolution, because we have to have a preview for Gen 8. So you don't get Crobat in this game, which sucks, because I like Crobat. But no, this is pretty interesting, actually. I mean, you can ride Pokemon too. The bike is gone. There is no bike in this game. But instead, you get to ride Pokemon. As in, you can ride a Charizard. You can ride an Arcanine. You can ride a Snorlax.
But can you ride a Blastoise?
No, you cannot ride a Blastoise.
What?! Worst game ever! Exterminatus on this game right now!
We have arrived, and it is now that we fulfill our charge. Feel fealty to the Lord our God, and by the grace of his throne, I declare exterminatus upon whatever scumbag we're declaring exterminatus on today. I hereby sign the death warrant of an entire werever, and consign 1,000,000 souls made to oblivion. May imperial justice account in all balance. The Emperor protects.
Deus vult, Deus vult, Deus vult, Deus vult, Deus vult, Deus vult.
Can't ride a fucking Blastoise, really?
You do get one thing though. You can have a Blastoise following you in the field.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
So and like it'll go and like search for items for you and stuff, and you can interact with it to a degree. But yes, you can have Blastoise too. And who was it? Crystal Wing, no, you cannot ride a Mewtwo either. I know, Mewtwo's my favorite. Well, Eevee is also my favorite. I have two favorites. But no, it's... I still like it. I still like it. It's basically a remake, or not even a remake, a retelling of Pokemon Yellow. And I like it. I liked the Yellow version growing up. Even though that was the only one that I actually ended up losing. Because water damage. Water is a fuck. That isn't how favorites work. That is definitely how favorites work. Mewtwo is my overall favorite Pokemon. Eevee is the favorite if we're playing by the rules of, well, you can't choose legendary Pokemon. So there. Eat it. Don't actually eat it, please. I like Mewtwo and Eevee. Don't eat them.
In my opinion, Blastoise is legendary in his own right.
Blastoise, I'm still trying to level up my Squirtle to get a Blastoise, because I'll be damned if Blastoise is not on my final team. Blastoise has to be on my final team.
It's probably one of the most reliable Pokemon ever.
Really, really is. Really is.
It's a giant turtle tank. What's not to love?
It's... Yeah. Yeah. Thoughts on Detective Pikachu? Okay, I'll do this right quick before wrapping up. It looks hilarious.
It does.
I think if you can't get Danny DeVito to voice Pikachu, getting Ryan Reynolds is probably the next best thing.
Pretty much, yeah.
So yes, and yes, reminder to get a Magikarp. Yes, actually buy the Magikarp from the dude and level it up. Oh, by the way,
I'm
leveling
big
up
on Gyarados personally.
Gyarados is good. If you have the moves to support it.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is, everything that you can get with Gyarados, you can get with, and all the hard work with him, you can also get the same sort of hard work with a Dratini, and the Dratini is useful longer.
Yeah, well, that's the thing though.
Because Dragonite is awesome too.
Well, you get a Gyarados at level 20. You don't get a Dragonite until 55.
True, but it's worth the wait.
So yeah, it is definitely worth the wait. But
and
of course,
in a lot of ways, Gyarados is actually inferior to Blastoise. Especially in offensive power.
Well, depends on if you're going for physical versus a special attacker.
Yeah, Blastoise has special attack written all over him.
That and Blastoise is a tank.
Yes,
of course.
Yes, so his defense is considerably higher.
He is a tank.
Just to give you an idea of how powerful Blastoise is like, what is the fire legendary bird in Gen 1? I can always forget its name.
Moltres.
Moltres. I accidentally killed it with one shot from Surf, trying to get its HP low.
Yeah, that'll do it.
And I'm like, oops.
Yep, got the stab bonus and a strong water type move. So,
yeah.
Yep. Oops. Yeah. But no, this game, you do have Mega Evolutions, but again, it's literally just the first 151 Pokemon plus Meltan and its evolution. That's it. So that means no Magnezone. As mentioned, no Crobat, no Licky. Like you'd want one anyway.
Man, nobody likes Lickitung.
Nothing like that. So you are limited. It's like playing Yellow in a modern sort of setting. That's about it. About all I got. I like it. I liked it enough that I bought a Switch for it, but I also bought a Switch mostly for Smash Brothers too. I like me some Smash Brothers. Anyway, that's it. Go get it if you like Pikachus or Eevees.
So I watched a thing. I've been playing for those wondering what the chant was at the beginning of the podcast, it's the Ram chant from Siege Mode in For Honor, the Knights. And it basically says, we didn't want this war. You brought it to us. We're prepared for it. God wills it. We're going to kick your ass and then go back to being peaceful. Because of the now 4 factions in For Honor, the Knights are still the best. They are awesome. They really are awesome. Plus we have Romans now too that help out. So, but anyway, I watched Sword Art Online Abridged. Not Sword Art Online. You would never get me caught or ever catch me watching Sword Art Online.
Yeah, Abridged is about the only way that you could actually bear to watch Sword Art Online.
Yeah. But I will say, this is pretty funny. You know, I'm not really that big on abridged series. Like, there's certain ones that I've watched that I'm just like, it's okay. Like, I watched Berserk abridged once. Watched like 3 episodes of it. I'm like, this isn't really hitting the mark for me. And there were some other ones too that I've watched, and it just didn't really. The only ones I really enjoyed was Dragon Ball Z abridged and Hellsing abridged, or Hellsing Ultimate. And part of the reason was because they, it seemed like a lot of people really, or the guys at Team 4-Star, I actually have met them via online means. They were, when I was on a fairly regular guy on the Lord Cat live streams way back in the day. So were they. So I met Kaiser, I met Taka, good dudes, and this one was probably the first one that I was like, okay, this is actually really enjoyable. But I don't know much else to say aside from that. I mean, it's cleverly written. I like how they turned the normal, protagonist of an anime into a sociopath, for better or worse. A bloodlusting sociopath. I thought that was a really fun little twist. I like how the my brain's not wanting to work. I liked how his love interest was a total bitch who was trying to be cool and ended up coming across like a racist. Like, it was hilarious. And oddly enough, like, a lot of the voice actors I'd seen a couple of Gigax videos before, and I noticed some of the people who do that. So I'm like, okay. I understand who this is. And oddly enough, Takahata 101 is in this as well. And just kind of being himself. Yeah, it's fun. It's a fun little series. I wasn't, like, my mind wasn't blown by it or anything, but it was fun. It was fun to watch. So, yeah, that's really kind of the long and short of it for me. I don't have much else to say from that. What I do want to talk about, I didn't feel like making a bunch of other cards for this, is what I bought and then ended up refunding when it came to the Steam sale. First off, Agony. Severely disappointed. Wonderful,
actually played it, huh?
Wonderful atmosphere. Terrible gameplay. It is basically Amnesia: The Dark Descent in hell. But the means of avoiding your enemy are ridiculously... Hardball Entertainment gave us $10. Thank you, dude. But the means of evading your enemy are mediocre at best, and it's... I would almost rather prefer it was just a straight walking simulator through hell. It's not that it was, I didn't mind the challenge. The challenge was fine. It's just, there were points where I didn't really... Like, every time I ever died in an Amnesia game, I really felt like I died for good reason. Like, I fucked up. But in this one, I didn't really feel like there were enough options for me to maneuver around my enemies like there are in Amnesia. It just wasn't very well thought out. Which sucks, because the art style of the game is beautiful in how twisted it is. And I will probably watch someone else play through it. The other one I have a gripe about is Street Fighter V. You nerfed Akuma. You made it that I've got to go through all these hoops to do the Raging Demon. And on top of that, you boast that the combos flow better than Street Fighter IV, which is somewhat true. But they don't flow like Third Strike, and that... It's like, come on, you made the best fighting game of all time. How the hell are you not able to do it again? So, I ended up getting both of them refunded. I'm not happy. Not happy at all. Okay. Let's see what Hardboiled says. Says here, 2 in-depth videos by Comic Book Movie Marks analyzing the substance and comics heritage of Zack Snyder's films. No colons here. So, okay, well, what I'll do is I'll have a look, and I'll talk about a little bit more what I meant with Zack Snyder and his edginess. But the basic idea is I don't mind him being edgy. I just think he oftentimes gets assigned to works that he shouldn't have been on. I don't think he should have directed Batman v Superman. I think someone else should have done it. But if there was a Deathstroke film, I wouldn't mind him directing it.
Well, him just having oversight over the DCEU was a mistake anyway.
Yeah. I don't think that he should have been the guy. He should have been one of many guys.
Yeah. It's like they wanted to get, what's his name? Christopher Nolan to do it.
To be the Kevin Feige of it. And Nolan is a great director, but he's not that great of a producer.
Yeah.
You know, there were mistakes made there. And I think a lot of it has to do more with the corporate influence than it necessarily did the creative stuff. Because like I've said, the DCEU had a lot of interesting creative ideas. They just weren't well executed.
Well, that's the thing. They weren't trying to make a cohesive universe at their core. They were just trying to chase the Marvel dollar.
Yeah.
And that's what did them in.
And to answer Autist Whisper, is edgy or too edgy a good argument? Because I don't think it is. Well, I'm not arguing that edgy in and of itself is bad. It's just in certain circumstances it's not good.
Yeah.
For all things, there is a time and place.
Yeah.
You know, edgy works well for Deadpool, doesn't really work well for a Superman versus Batman story. You know, trying to be too modern is also something that can be very bad in certain circumstances, like Batman v Superman, but not a bad thing in other circumstances. It just depends on the type of story you're trying to tell. So, but that's my thoughts on that. So let's go ahead and get into the topics for the week real quick. So, Kwanzaa Okafor and Mags Visaggio got together and decided to try and censor someone. Our boy Zach. For those who don't know, Kwanzaa Okafor, or whatever his last name is a hack. He is a race baiter. He's a terrible writer. His comic Black AF is one of the worst comic books I've ever read. He has no talent. He has nothing. Mags Visaggio, same thing. No talent, completely lives off the fact that Mags Visaggio is trans. That's it. The only reason that they are in comic books is because they fit on the progressive stack. They have no talent whatsoever. They're trash. And they are trying to silence someone who was willing to say they are trash. And they are trying to get the biggest target in the room, our boy Zach.
Yeah. I mean, imagine actually spending that much time and energy trying to go after a guy who makes YouTube videos through his cell phone, coughs a lot, and basically talks about how these comics are bad.
Yeah. And
really?
And here's the thing. I have quoted Game of Thrones before on this. When you try to cut someone's tongue out, it shows that you are afraid of what they might say. Mm-hmm. They are petrified of the things that Richard says. Yeah. Because they're not wrong.
Well, that's the thing. It's funny, too, because they also like to downplay his influence, saying, well, we've got thousands upon thousands of people who are against everything that he stands for, and yet...
Do you really?
why go after him if he's a fucking nobody? If he is a nobody preaching to nobodies, why the fuck are you going after him? Why the fuck are you so terrified of him?
Exactly.
That you feel the need to shut down his channel. It's funny when you think about it. It's almost a David and Goliath situation, except David gathers rocks during his lunch break.
Yeah, it gets my goat because let's be honest about what this really is. He criticized their work. They said you'll never do anything. He does 2 super successful Indiegogo campaigns, and now they're pissed.
Mm-hmm.
And they can't deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
They can't deal with the fact they got exposed. They can't deal with the fact that a guy comes out with 2 graphic novels. Only one of the 2 has been released yet. I still haven't gotten my copy of Jawbreakers yet.
Yeah,
I think that I thought he started shipping them recently.
If he has, I hadn't heard anything about it. So I haven't gotten mine either. So
yeah, but of the 2 books that he has put out Kickstarters for, one of them has already been shipped. Both were successful in regards to the funds put out. You know, Kwanzaa and Mags don't have that kind of success under their belt. They just don't. And this is ultimately just an exposure of where these folks are at right now. Is they are fucking frightened of the independents. They really are. Because, and Donald DeLay put it quite succinctly on Twitter. He's like, with Brutus the Badass, I'm going to be making more money than I ever did with Death of Love for Image. Printing has not begun yet. Okay. So, Thank
you for the update.
Yes. So, when it comes right down to it, we find ourselves, looking at this from the outside in, and all I see is desperation.
Yeah. Clinging to relevancy.
Yeah. Because that's all they have, is a paltry social media following and no actual content. Like, Mags Visaggio has been, criticized by fans for her protagonists that she's ever created basically being sociopaths and unrelatable. Which, go figure, she's just as bad of a writer as Gabby Rivera. And what does Kwanzaa have? The X-Men, but black people.
Yeah.
That's it.
I mean, if they were actually, quality writers, they wouldn't have to go to these lengths because their work would be able to prop themselves up.
Oh, yeah.
This is desperation, clawing at whatever relevance, or not even relevance, but just influence that they have left.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, like you said, they've been exposed. And that's a threat to them. So, of course, they got to fight dirty now. It's just like Gamergate. Just like Gamergate was.
My message to Kwanzaa would be this. It's not somebody else's fault that you suck. It's not. And I'm sorry that the color of your skin is not enough to translate to talent, but it's not. Because at the end of the day, you're learning reality. You being black doesn't give you any advantage in life as much as you thought it was going to, with certain audiences. But you leveraged that and the concept of your book to try to get yourself a following. And when people actually read it and took what you have as work, not as the color of your skin, they judged it on the quality of it, and it came up wanting.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to constantly see folks on the independents who are going to get into this that have a line to the fans and what they are looking for, and they're going to be more successful than you are. And your bitter jealousy 10, 20 years from now will be the mark of your own legacy. And you will deserve every single bit of it. Because you refused to simply let people be who they are. And you simply refused to allow people to create what they want to create. And yet claiming that people are trying to shut you down when they're not. There's not a single soul that ever tried to shut down Kwanzaa. Because the instant that somebody would try to, you would send an email to somebody at Bleeding Cool, and then there'd be this giant long think piece from Jude Terror calling that person a racist with no evidence. Same thing with you, Mags. If your work can't stand on its own, if your work cannot be as successful as other people, that's not the other person's fault. You need to take responsibility for you being not good. Because here's the thing. Project Lazarus, Indiegogo, January, for me.
It's happening.
It is happening. I'm supposed to get prints back from Bob Stone this week on that. After that, Inglewood. And if they fail, it's nobody's fault but my own. And I will not blame another person for it. People expect the same out of other adults. Time to start acting like them.
Get good.
Get good.
It's just like in video games.
Yeah.
Get good.
Yeah. Because I'm going to do whatever I can to make this book a success. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do what John Malin did when it came to Graveyard Shift. I'm going to send out a tweet that says, I will, on any show you guys want me to be on to talk about this comic, I will go. And I will talk to them. And I will pester people about it. Because I want this book to be a success. That's what we got to do. I have confidence in it. Absolutely. All right. Let's go ahead and move on to our next topic. So, can I say something about video games?
Say something about video games.
I'm very glad I'm not a game journalist anymore. I'm very glad I don't even, deal with that stuff. Because video games are a weird place. They are really, really, really weird to be in. So, Fallout 76 is out. Getting mixed thoughts from different people. And I kind of wanted to tackle something here. So there has been an accusation that there have been influencers who were bribed to like this game. And that's an accusation actually being levied by some game journalists. Keep in mind, this is the same people that would get on their social media not 10 years ago and post themselves with this big fucking sword that they got from the Darksiders team. Or something that they got from EA. Or some helmet or some other bullshit. Or some statuette of Ezio.
Was it, Dante's Inferno when they straight up sent out checks?
Yes.
Oh, man.
And there was a note with the check that said if you, basically, in layman's terms, said if you cash this, you're a fucking scumbag.
Yeah.
Which is kind of hilarious.
Yeah, pretty much.
But here's the thing. Total transparency, I have received stuff from publishers in the past. When I was at Blistered Thumbs. I did.
You've
not a lot.
Shown off your terror mask, actually.
Now, I got that after.
Yes, that was after. But it was still something that you got.
Yeah, I got merch from Sony before a couple of their releases they sent me. Killzone 3 and MLB The Show, whatever year that was. With MLB The Show, they gave me because I lived in Illinois, they gave me a Chicago Cubs baseball. And then they gave me these little Killzone figurines as well for Killzone. personally, never once did I feel like I was obliged to give this game a certain score, and I was never pressured by them to do so. And in a lot of game journalists I talked to around that time, it was a similar feeling. Is they send us this stuff, we either, some people really dig it and it probably affects their opinion, but some people say, yeah, okay, thank you, and then they put it in the closet. And then they review the game as objectively as humanly possible. My stance on it is that what your reaction to it is going to define your character. And if it does influence the way you think, you need to be rethinking about how you're doing your job. I am not going to accuse someone of being bribed, though, without evidence of actual exchange of money. Because that's the thing. There's a difference between giving someone something and knowing it's going to affect them emotionally, like a sandwich, and then actually paying someone to give you a very specific score. There is a bit of a difference. Are there ways around it that companies do use to try to keep in certain journalists' good graces? Absolutely. But it's a two-way street. Those people could have just as easily turned it down. I have yet to see Destructoid turn down ad revenue. But anyway, the big thing that I think that before you accuse bribery, you should take the character of the person into account. And also you need to take into account that some people will get swag and still trash a game. Or to point out the flaws in it. You know, I don't watch a lot of game influencers on YouTube. Maximilian's kind of the only one because he makes fun videos, and I like the fighting game community, and I like watching that sort of stuff. Like when it comes to esports, that's the only one I watch. I watch Evo every year because Evo is fucking awesome. But he's been very honest about a lot of the games he plays. And there are a lot of other people that I've seen that have been pointed out to me that are very honest about the games they play too, and they get free shit. My problem is the blanket accusation of bribery. And in this case, I think that there's something that needs to be mentioned. You are probably not going to like some things that other people like. That's okay.
What a surprise.
What I would ask people to do, and this is part of the reason why I don't like being... Well, I'm glad I'm not a game journalist anymore, is I fucking hate that guy. You know that guy. When you're talking about something you enjoy, and he has to come in here and go, how can you give so much attention to something that is clearly mediocre? Finneh!
Is that guy Jim Sterling?
No, I'm talking about like a random commenter. This is just like within games in general. Not just journalists, but just everybody. It's like, in video games, nobody's allowed to have a different opinion.
I'm pretty sure that guy is also Jim Sterling, though.
Well, yes, and he's fat. But Jim Sterling is one of those people. But it is constantly this sort of turning your nose up at other people as if you enjoying something, it makes you better than them. I get on Hardboiled Entertainment about liking Zack Snyder. I don't think I'm superior to him. I just have different tastes, and I outline what I don't like about Zack Snyder. But at the end of the day, I don't judge people for liking something that I don't like. But this is the problem. It doesn't make you sit... So, like, if the idea that people like Fallout 76 shouldn't surprise anyone, because for some people it's something that they want, is the ability to play Fallout with their friends. And that's enough. Some people it won't be. Whatever. Here's a crazy one. I like Bionic Commando. Not Rearmed. That one's good too, but Bionic Commando, the 2009 game. The one where the lead singer of Faith No More is voicing the lead character and he has dreadlocks.
The one where his arm is his wife?
Yes! I unironically love that Bionic Commando because it is fun as hell. And it has what I was looking for at that time. Is it stupid edgy? Yes, it is. Is your arm your wife? Yes. Very yes. But it's fun as fuck to play. And sometimes that's enough for some people.
I mean, I unironically like Duke Nukem Forever.
There you go.
Seriously, like a game that pretty much everybody hated on launch. It was exactly what I expected, and I was not disappointed by it. The one thing I was disappointed about was the loading times, but that's really
the loading times really were very bad.
Yeah,
but here's the thing: it's like that sort of thing could be enough for some people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one thing I never really understood about video games. Like it's like in music, I get it too,
mm-hmm.
but not so much in comics. Like that's what I find strange. It's like there are such Puritans when it comes to video games, and I think that it's all over the place. And there is the possibility that somebody might like this game and not have been bribed to like it. There are some people that unironically like Battlefield 5, even though it doesn't look that good to a lot of other people, and the politics that were around it really drug things down. It's going to be the same thing with Fallout 76. You're going to get people who really love it, and people who don't like it. Whatever. It is what it is. I don't think it says anything bad about their character. But what I would ask for people is that if you're going to accuse someone of being bribed, give me some evidence first, because I really hate that accusation. It's the sort of stuff that, you know, people got pissed off when I unironically loved Dragon Age 2 and still like that game. And somebody said that, like, this is the thing I always talk about. This is the first death threat I ever got was from somebody that didn't work at Blistered Thumbs, oddly enough, because there was a person at Blistered Thumbs who threatened to kill me, or wished death on me rather, named Eli. But he said because I gave Dragon Age 2 a 9 out of 10, but said that it was for fans of the game only, he was going to stick my Jew head in an oven. Not Jewish, you jackass. My last name is Anglo-Norman.
Oh my god.
Christ.
Yeah, I got my first death threat from not so much a review, but a criticism actually. I was in high school. I wrote into my high school newspaper basically saying that Twilight was reinforcing abusive relationships, and I had not just one, I had 3 death threats in my locker over the next couple of days.
Christ. But it's just more, how about this, folks? Let's more letting people have their tastes, less
yeah.
Please.
Yeah. I will continue to believe that Kingdom Hearts is an objectively bad game, but if you like it,
whatever.
More power to you.
You know, this is not a controversy. There is no controversy here. You like it or you don't. Video games make up controversies, and it's fucking stupid. Next topic. Speaking of an actual controversy, reset the fucking clock. Hatman, take the lead.
So, Phil Collar? I don't even know how to pronounce his name.
Creepy fuck.
Co-founder of Polygon was accused sometime last year of being creepy to women. He got Me Too'd, but it sort of flew under the damn radar. Ironically, Reset Era drew attention to this. and apparently, sometime in February, he was let go and scrubbed from the site. His status as a co-founder of Polygon, scrubbed. All of his work there, scrubbed. Completely unpersoned. And nobody noticed until, like, yesterday. Ironically, it was Reset Era again who saw it yesterday. And were downplaying it like, well, actually, he wasn't creepy towards women. He wanted to play Mario Kart with a girl and it backfired.
So like, that's what we're calling it these days.
But yeah, reset the fucking clock. Jesus Christ. How many times has this been now?
I've
Seriously.
reset the clock too many times. I don't fucking know.
Exactly. I'm surprised the clock still works now. I mean, it's insanity. And the irony of it all is pretty much all of these people at one point came out and said, oh, we will not tolerate the toxicity of gamers abusing women anymore.
Mario Kart is a serious crime. Women suffer every day. Oh God.
Sending out a blue shell is a hate crime. Oh God. But no, it is insane how everybody who is supposed to be respecting women ended up being like this. Way to go. Way to fucking go. And yes, Ghost, reminder that Reset Era is NeoGAF, including the same moderators in the past, or including the same moderators that have been accused of pedophilia in the past. Yes, Reset Era is garbage, which is why this is hilariously ironic.
Believe all
they
Koopas.
Brought attention to this and are downplaying it.
Koopa lives matter.
But no, this is absolutely expected. And now, who's next?
I'm hoping Ben Kuchera, personally. I would love for it to be Ben Kuchera, because as we all know, Ben Kuchera is fake news.
Ben Kuchera is creepy fake news.
Oh yeah.
Like if Michael Avenatti is creepy porn lawyer, Ben Kuchera is creepy game journalist.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Jason Schreier, but it won't be a woman. Oh God.
Probably a little boy. Yeah.
Honestly, Schreier.
I could see
Schreier's
it.
the kind. I couldn't, if only because I think he would be too socially awkward to even attempt anything.
Actually, I'm hoping that after Zoe Quinn's abortion of a comic this coming December, which I definitely will be reviewing, that it will probably fail, and then she'll probably accuse what's his face who works for Kotaku, Nathan Grayson of actually raping her. It will probably happen, and it will be hilarious just to get her name back in the news. It will happen.
Imagine Nathan Grayson coming onto the same side as Gamergate because his name is being dragged through the mud by Zoe. Imagine that happen.
I would dig out. I would grab a guy that I know knows Greek, and I'd find an original text of Revelation and make sure that's not a sign of the end times. Okay, like that would be frightening.
Oh my God.
Oh God. But yes, when I review that comic, I will rip and tear until it is done. For I am Doom Guy.
Yeah.
I am the man too angry to die at this point.
But about Vox. Vox apparently unpersons people.
Yes, I do need to tell the story. I do need to tell the story. I forgot about that. So, back in the day, I used to comment quite a bit on professional wrestling and MMA sites because I'm big into MMA. For those know, I know how to box. You know, I've learned a little bit of Muay Thai, just a touch, enough to hurt you with my knees, basically, more so than I hurt myself with my knees. But there was a time when there was a guy who was writing for a site called MMA Mania and another site called Cage Side Seats, whose name escapes me at the moment. But he one day completely disappeared from the website. And what happened was he got drunk, and he had been bragging constantly on Twitter. Sergio Hernandez was his name. Look him up. And look up the story of how Vox unpersoned him. But the he was best buddies with the head of the site, Gino Morosco, and then suddenly is gone. It's because he got drunk, which he was doing over and over again, bragging about it on Twitter, getting drunk and driving drunk, and then he hit someone and killed them. And then they unpersoned him, and Vox has never acknowledged it to this day. And nobody ever caught it. Nobody has ever talked about it. Except for me, oddly enough. I was genuinely surprised that at the time nobody made a video about it. Or it never got on any big websites. But you look it up and you'll see it. This is not the first time. This is what they do, is they ignore people. And ignore they ever existed. That's why I'm hoping in the future people will start to pay attention to this. So
This is also why archives are important.
Amen to that. All right, let's move on to the Q&A. So we got something from Discord here. Deltacore first asked me, a couple weeks ago I requested you to play Enter the Gungeon, so general review. It's a fun little roguelike, but I'm not big into roguelikes, so I could only say so much. But I'll probably play it again sometime. It was a fun little game to stream.
I think that's also out on Switch, too. Might have to grab it.
I think so. And then Talon Silverbane wants to know, for the Entertainment Podcast, now that Divinity Original Sin 2 is on sale, is that something you want, and would you stream it? I don't know. I'm going to watch some gameplay video of it and then make a decision on that. So. Okay, so what about the Twitter? Oh, we already said there wasn't anything on the Twitter for entertainment. Yeah. So let's go to the chat. Walumancer the Wallfather wants to know, thoughts on authorial intent versus death of the author. How much weight should the author's intentions and word impact how a work should be viewed and interpreted? So I did a video on this, oddly enough, 2 years ago. I am very against Le Mort de l'Auteur. I think it's how it's pronounced. Yeah. Yes. I hate it. I think it's bullshit French philosophy, and the French are stupid.
I think it's complete bullshit, too.
Authorial intent matters a lot more than making up your own headcanon, yes, which is basically what it is. The death of the author is idiotic. So, oddly enough, it was my statements on the death of the author that got Zoe Quinn pissed off enough to message Brianna Wu to have her try to defame me in public.
Oh my god.
Because Rutledge, the head of the site, because Rutledge is a dumbass, was doing the Ask FM shit for Tech Raptor at the time, and he answered Death of the Author because he didn't know what the fuck it was. And Zoe Quinn constantly mocked Tech Raptor about it. And then, when I came out with an article that addressed her personally, and then talked about how Death of the Author was bullshit, all of a sudden, I'm getting criticized by people. Or I've got the lefties coming after me.
Mm-hmm.
Really gets the noggin jogging.
Mm-hmm. But no, I don't like it. I think it's nonsense, new criticism. It's basically saying that your headcanon is more valid than what the author wrote and intended to write.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can argue all you want that the red drapes were symbolic of blood and anger, and they were put up to show a change in the character, but if the author says they really tied the room together well, that's your fucking answer. End of story.
Yeah. I don't care about, authorial intent matters, because that's the guy who created it.
Mm-hmm.
You can put your own interpretations on it as much as you want, but if the author says you're full of shit, then you're wrong. Then you're full of shit.
Yeah. And CT117 asks, what is death of the author? It's basically the philosophy that as you are reading something, the only thing that is valid is how you read it.
Yes.
The content of the work is what needs to be discussed and interpreted, regardless of what the author meant for it. So if you are trying to critique something, it doesn't matter what the author's backstory is. It doesn't matter what inspired them to write. None of that is relevant. Whereas authorial intent does take that into account. Yes, these sorts of circumstances and how they chose to write this situation and it relating back to that is absolutely relevant. And we believe, there is relevancy there. It's not just the text itself, it's who wrote it.
And Hardboiled, I gotcha. So yeah, I'll definitely check out those videos at some point. Ooh, here's a good one. We're made CEO of EA. What do we do? First thing I'm doing is I am finding a indie team. No, I'm finding the people who made Rocket League, and I'm making them make a new NFL Blitz. First thing I do. Because that would be a really, really good game to bring back, and I would bring back EA Sports big. Because those were some really fun arcadey games that could have been potential money makers for kind of the more hardcore gamer crowd that don't always play sports games. Second thing I would do is I would probably try to get funding back for the Star Wars titles, and try to focus less on politicking and more on just making good shooters. I would tell the people at DICE to take a break for a while, and I would definitely, or if they wanted to make I would probably see if there was anybody from the old X-Wing and TIE Fighter games who wanted to make a VR X-Wing TIE Fighter game.
Did they try that?
There's a demo for Battlefront 2 that is available in VR. It's a tech demo that is basically X-Wing, and it's really, really cool looking.
X-Wing or TIE Fighter.
So,
if I were CEO of EA, I would have to shut down a studio. So I would shut down EA Sports.
That's their biggest moneymaker.
Nobody said I had to be a good CEO.
Christ. Yeah, that would...
I'm EA. I'm making bad decisions.
The point for us is to make the EA and not be EA and make good decisions, Hatman. What the fuck?
Okay, here's one that I do want to address. In regards to the death of the author thing, what about authors who retcon their work, aka like J.K. Rowling making everyone gay? And I guess to an extent, you could throw George Lucas into there too, like constantly changing canon and shit. I mean, it's their fucking universe. Like,
yeah, if they want to fuck it up, that's their deal.
Yeah, that's their fucking problem. Like,
you want to burn your own property down, that's fine. Just don't expect the insurance company to pay out for it.
Exactly. Like, if you want to have your own little fan fiction universe or something, go right the fuck ahead. If you want to disregard canon, go right ahead, because Star Wars fans have been doing that for almost 20 fucking years now.
Oh yeah.
Fuck it, just fuck it.
Fuck 'em?
Fuck 'em.
Fuck 'em.
What do we think? Do you think the creator should be responsible for how the audience perceives their art or creation? No. If you want to set them straight, feel free. I mean, I will probably do so because I'm a dork when it comes to Project Lazarus, but and for Inglewood. But like, if this whole thing about Venom being a gay icon now.
We want to make everything gay. They want to make... I mean, remember when they made the Babadook a gay icon?
Yeah.
Like, how the hell did that happen?
Oh, dear God. Okay, given the choice, would we rather be a video game creator or a comic creator? Comics at this point, but I wouldn't mind doing both.
I would probably have to do games, honestly. I would love to do, like, a true Your Choices Matter game. I would love to do a true version of that, but yeah, I gotta wait for technology to catch up.
Yeah. What's our opinion on the Spurg War between Sargon V
and...
Oh
my God.
It's a Spurg War. It's stupid.
Okay. All right. Let me lay it out here for you. Medicare has been trying to collect scalps for a long fucking time.
Oh, yeah.
Because apparently that's his way to get up the mountain. He got Mats. He's trying to get fucking Sargons and V with him because he's saying V is Sargon's lapdog. It's only a matter of time before he turns on Ralph. Because Ralph is using this to basically become the exclusive internet blood sports channel with the kill stream.
Pretty much, yeah.
And okay, yeah, you know, if that's what he wants to do with his time, fucking fine. But
God
it's a
bless him,
matter. Yeah, it's only a matter of time before they turn against each other, and you're going to have Ralph versus Jim.
Oh yeah, it'll happen.
It's going to be a goddamn drama bomb, like a nuclear fucking drama bomb. And when
play
it happens,
stupid games, you get stupid prizes, and they're all playing a really stupid game right now.
Yeah, when that happens, I will be laughing very loudly from the top of a mountain to where you will probably be able to hear it no matter where on Earth you are. It might even be heard in the vacuum of space. I will be laughing that fucking loudly. I will defy fucking physics. I do not care. It's a matter of time.
Yeah.
It's a matter of time.
There's a reason we don't get involved with that sort of shit. It just really doesn't really do anything. It's just kind of dumb.
Yeah. And Artist Whisperer is right too. Jim is basically trying to get his old GG buddies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's exactly what it fucking is.
Pretty much.
The old no e-celebs. That whole fucking god damn it. Fuck that shit. And I'll answer this too. Hat 96. What do you guys think of Medicare? I generally do like
He's an entertaining guy. Yeah.
Yeah, but when he's not going on an autist crusade like this, he's entertaining.
Yeah.
But otherwise, no. Just no.
Let's see here. Did we see the latest Aquaman trailer? I'm looking forward to Aquaman.
I have not seen the latest trailer, but
like I said, I don't like Black Manta's design. I think it's a little bit too bulky. But
really, it looks a little sleek.
The most recent one, it looked like it made him look like a linebacker. It might have been just an angle. I don't know. But anyway, I think it's a. But regardless, I'm looking forward to it. I'm seeing if they can really kind of legitimize Aquaman in pop culture. I would like to see that happen because I think that post Peter David Aquaman has been a pretty consistently fun character. You know, he's no Namor, but
yeah,
no one is.
All right, I'll answer this one because, god damn it, Koopa, you've been asking this one for a while now. Kingdom Hearts is better than Yub Nub. Change my mind. The only good thing in Kingdom Hearts is the fucking music. That is literally the only good thing in the first fucking game. The story is confusing as all hell. It makes no goddamn sense, and it continues to make no goddamn sense all these games in, to the point where they have to constantly re-release all of their shit just so people have any semblance of what's going on going into Kingdom Hearts 3. The controls are fucking floaty as shit and awful. They fucked up the menu so bad that's the only reason why people loved Kingdom Hearts 2 so much, or their Kingdom Hearts 2's controls so much, is because they finally fixed all the shit that was broken. Do I even have to mention the fucking underwater controls or the flying controls? Fuck's sake. And you have the audacity to have multiple bosses using those fucking controls, including one of the forms of the end boss. Fuck you. Also, fuck you, Micah, you son of a bitch. So, no. Yub Nub, okay, I will give you this. I think the Victory Celebration song is more appropriate for Star Wars than Yub Nub is, but I still fucking like Yub Nub. Also, you suck.
Oh, goodness. All right, folks. We have reached the end of the podcast. I forgot to say this last time, but please go ahead and put your questions in for the overflow in the chat. Brainbox will be getting them. He's feeling a little under the weather right now, but we'll definitely answer them this coming week. I do want to thank people who donated this week. We had a couple of big ones. Actually, there's one more question I want to answer. Somebody asked me about something called Frank and Fran, so I was going to look that up real quick. But Hardboiled Entertainment and Tatus, thank you so much for your donations this week. I will get to work on watching those videos and stuff. But so Frank and Fran is what I'm supposed to look for, right?
I
Says it is not waifu bait. So, well, let's go images and what the fuck?
What the fuck? What?
What the fuck is that?
Is it waifu bait?
No. This is horrifying looking.
All right, Frank and Fran, you said?
Holy shit. What the fuck is this?
Oh, is this
This is fucked.
That's not Junji Ito, really?
This is like fucking...
Nope, it's not. Huh.
Dear God, it's like...
It's his style, though.
It's
totally
twisted as shit.
Huh.
Whoa. That's jacked up.
Huh.
Yet I can't peel my eyes away from it. Like... I'm really weird with, like, disturbing things, and Jesus Christ.
Yeah, body horror doesn't really get me, so...
Well, it doesn't, like, get me. Like, I'm not sickened by it, but whoa.
See, this is what happens. This is what happens when you nuke Japan twice.
Yeah, this is some fucking, like... makes John Carpenter look tame. Christ.
I guess this
is
what,
some Reanimator shit, is what it is.
This is how the Japanese reacted to Human Centipede.
I guess. Like, they made... Wow. That's pretty twisted, man.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll ever read it, but... Dear God. That's crazy. That is fucking nuts. If I do end up reading it, it'll probably be because that sort of stuff is, like... part of what's going to end up inspiring some of the designs for demons in Project Lazarus. There was one in there that I saw that that actually reminded me of something that I had thought of a demon that was constantly conjoined as it moves, but it's two separate entities. But they're always constantly attached by some different body part that's always shifting as they fight you. I always thought that would be a really neat idea. And I saw something like that in there of like 4 people with their faces basically sewn together. I'm like, that's kind of like what I was thinking of.
This is supposed to be humor, too? Hell yes.
Wait. Hold on. That's a comedy?
Yeah. It's like House of a Thousand Corpses.
Oh, well, yeah, okay.
It's a comedy.
Okay, so okay.
I would even argue it's a love story.
Whoo, lad. That's pretty crazy. All right. Well, you wanted to see my reaction to it. There you go, man.
There you go. Yeah.
All right, folks. Well, I got to take off. Sadly, it looks like my Dave's Vault crew is all taking off for the evening, so I don't know what I'm going to do with the rest of my night. But we appreciate you guys hanging in. Again, thank you for the generous donations, and we're going to take off. But until next time, my name is Micah Curtis.
And I'm Alex Baldwin, also known as the Hatman.
Thank you for the 700 subscribers, by the way. We forgot to mention that.
Yes, thank you very much.
And we'll keep the good stuff coming. We'll see you next week. Dave's Vault.
Dave's Vault.